this meeting?
I make a motion, we open the meeting.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Meeting is now officially opened. Okay, so we're going to start with the agenda. So the first thing we're going to do is roll call.
Robert O'Keefe, here.
Virginia Fleming, present.
Linda Fiochet here.
Mary Ann Petruski here.
Nancy Brown here. Barbara Keith here.
Okay, next thing on it are the minutes, and we have quite a few because we had to table. Minutes didn't get done, so I guess for the sake of sanity, I'll read them. I won't put that on anyone else. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I think this is an important meeting. Okay, so the minutes from January 10th. The minutes were called to order by the chair at 4 p.m. Virginia made a motion to open the meeting. Bobby O'Keefe seconded the motion. Roll call was done. Everyone was here except for Lynn. She was here via FaceTime. Director's report. The board was given an update by Margarita Morales about the ARPA funds. The motion for the ARPA funds approval concerns something other than materials used for the patio. Bobby O'Keefe made a motion to accept the ARPA amount of $86,000. Motion seconded by Virginia Fleming. Motion passed. A vote is necessary to close out the work done on the AC in the community room. Motion made by Barbara Keith and seconded by Bobby O'Keefe. Motion passed. A vote is necessary to close out and finalize the roof for 76 Winthrop Terrace. Virginia Fleming made a motion. Bobby O'Keefe seconded the motion. The motion passed. Warren Housing Authority has thousands of dollars of solar credits from a solar farm from National Grid. Solar credits can be transferred to the West School and other credits can be sold. A motion was made by Bobby O'Keefe and seconded by Virginia Fleming to use excess credits for West Warren electric bills for several years. Motion passed. A motion was made by Barbara Keith and seconded by Bobby O'Keefe to approve purchasing a business cell phone to be used by the Executive Director, Margarita Morales. Virginia Fleming made a motion to adjourn the meeting, seconded by Barbara Keith. The meeting was adjourned. I'm asking for a motion to approve the minutes of January 10th, 2023.
I make a motion, we approve the
I
minutes.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passed unanimously. Okay, next set of minutes, January 26th. Roll call, the only person that was absent in that meeting was Barbara Keith. Other attendees, WTTO Officer Shirley Kahn and Deborah Rich represented the Winthrop Terrace Tenant Organization. The meeting was called to order by the chair at 10:10 a.m. following a motion made by Virginia Fleming, seconded by Robert O'Keefe. The motion passed unanimously. Accepting minutes of the January 10th meeting of the Warren Housing Authority Board of Commissioners. The minutes of the meeting need to be amended, so will be read at the next meeting, which I just did. Executive Director's report, construction projects are moving along and soon the project for the patio. The board will include the WTTO members in the design factor of this project. There are vacancies coming up in some units and we are moving forward with filling them. That was the director's report from Margarita Morales. At that time she was still executive director. Chairperson comments. Chairperson Mary Ann Petruski commented on our board meeting changes. The reason for the date and time change in our meetings is to coincide with the approval of our warrants. We need to vote on the warrant before we send out checks to our vendors. Therefore, our board meetings will not always fall on the same day of the week and will take place closer to the end of the month. Every 3 years, we need to go through our policies. If there are any changes or addendums, the policies are given to the WTTO for review. Today, we have a non-smoking policy, property policy lease addendum. If this policy passes, Warren Housing Authority will become a non-smoking facility, which means no one is allowed to smoke on the property. Many complaints of people smoking in their apartments, restoration of apartments, where the previous occupant was a smoker have become time-consuming and very costly. Also, the increased risk of fire is present. The warrant, a motion to accept the warrant with the exception of check number 18111 was made by Robert O'Keefe and seconded by Lynn Duffy O'Shea. The motion passed unanimously with roll call votes of Virginia Fleming, Robert O'Keefe, Lynn Duffy O'Shea, and Mary Ann Petruski. Adjournment, a motion was made. Virginia made the motion to adjourn the meeting and seconded by Robert O'Keefe. The motion passed unanimously and the meeting was adjourned at 10:38 a.m. I'm looking for a motion to accept and pass these minutes.
I make a
I make a motion to accept these minutes.
I second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. I can't vote because I wasn't there.
Oh. Okay. And last but not least, February 3rd minutes. The meeting was called to order by the chairperson at 10 a.m. Virginia Fleming made a motion to open the meeting, Bob O'Keefe seconded, and the motion carried. Roll call. Bob O'Keefe, Virginia Fleming, Mary Ann Petruski, Barbara Keith, Lynn Duffy O'Shea via Zoom. A motion was made by Robert O'Keefe and seconded by Virginia Fleming to accept Executive Director Margarita Morales' letter of resignation. The board voted unanimously to accept, and the motion passed. A motion was made by Barbara Keith and seconded by Lynn Duffy O'Shea to extend Nancy Brown's contract to continue as interim executive director on a per diem basis. The motion passed unanimously. Virginia Fleming made a motion to adjourn. It was seconded by Barbara Keith, and the motion passed unanimously. The meeting was adjourned at 10:06 a.m. I'm looking for a motion to accept these minutes and
I make
pass.
a motion to accept the minutes.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The minutes are now approved and passed. Okay, so now, Nancy, you're up. And now we're gonna go into the executive director's report.
We're going to, the projects that are now in progress is the lighting and also the patio. They're in design as far as I know right now. I haven't heard anything more if they have been finished or not. We are now in the process of making an anti-bullying policy, which we will start and get it back and approved by the board. Oh, that's complete.
Okay, thank you, Nancy.
Yeah.
Hiring the executive director. As you know, we have to hire a new executive director, and that process, based on DHCD, starts from the beginning, unfortunately. But that's what we're in the process of doing. So we will update you as things move on at board meetings to let you know the steps that are happening. Okay, I think I'm going to leave the next three. I'm gonna go to voting on David carrying vacation. Last month, we talked about the fact that our maintenance man he can't go on vacations, he's the only person, and we asked about carrying over his vacation. So I'm looking for a motion to approve his ability to carry over his vacation time.
I make a
I
motion
make
to
a
give him
motion
the
to
ability.
allow David to carry over his vacation time.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, I think we'll go now to these. Okay, so, the pet policy, there's no change to the pet policy. The pet policy stands as it is. And I looked into what our administrative assistant told us, that these policies had to be renewed every 3 years, and that was incorrect information. While I was told that it's a good policy, it's not a regulation or mandated. So we don't have to go through all of these policies now. We're gonna take them at certain times when the reasons come up to look at them. But as far as changing anything with the pet policy, it's staying exactly the way your pet contract states and what you agreed to when you got a pet. Nothing changes on that. The laundry account, we have opened, this is just for financials, but we have opened a laundry account, so the money is now in its own separate account. We can see where it is, where it's going. So I'm asking for an approval. Everybody has received that. Would you all like me to read it? Show of hands. Anybody else want?
Can you just post it on the bulletin board?
We can,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, it just, we've opened an account, it tells how this is supposed to work, and basically where the laundry money is. Okay, I will post this on the board. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to pass the laundry accounting and expenditure policy.
I make a motion, we pass the laundry and spending.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion has passed unanimously. Okay. Policies done, laundry done. Okay, so I've left probably the most crucial policy is the non-smoking property policy lease addendum. This was talked about 4 months ago at an LTO meeting, that this is where this was heading. It was also talked about last month, as it reflected in the minutes. So I'm looking for a motion. I understand that there was a petition that was passed around. Do you want to present?
Do you want that copy?
Yes, I do, please.
Oh, this is non-binding smoking, so this is,
There's two.
this is for people that want smoking.
Correct. Okay.
Is there two also there, Virginia? No. Now, some of the names are on both because we understand that there was also a petition going around for smoking or non-smoking. And some people signed both because they believe that we have the right to smoke on the property.
Okay, this is not the time for that, Ann, we just need to review this. Thank you. Are the, I can't, do you see
Some of them can't read.
Rita? Lynn, do you see Gladys? Is she on here? Yep.
I gotta take her off.
And Phil, okay, and,
19 and 20.
no,
20
20 and
21,
21.
sorry.
and, do you see, Millie?
Jesus. Yes, I
Millie's
do.
up there,
Where's
yeah.
Millie?
9,
9?
Yeah, she wants
Really good.
off too, I guess.
Millie Aiken from Fourteen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, where is that?
Jesus.
Not on it? Mm-hmm. Okay. You have a copy of it, Ann? Do you have Millie,
Yes, I do.
do you have Millie Aiken's signature on here?
She's number 14.
Millie Aiken?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're removing three signatures, Millie Aiken, Gladys, and Phil.
No, you can't remove them because.
They have requested, you need to, wait, please. When we went around, when this petition went around, they said that they did not understand
Mhm,
that what they were signing
mhm.
was allowing smoking. They're against it, and they did not want to be on it, and they've asked us to make sure their names were removed. So they said that it wasn't made clear to them that this petition was a petition to allow smoking here. They thought it was a petition to prevent smoking here. So
May I interject on that?
when we get to questions and comments, so they have asked us to do that, and we have done that. Okay, so we also have petition,
Can I ask you the two names, Gladys, the number?
Gladysville and number 14, Millie Aiken.
So 20 and 21?
20 and 21 and 14.
Okay, just wanna make sure I have it right.
So, shh, quiet please. So, there is also a petition here that wants the smoking removed to accept this policy. It pretty much looks like they're the same number of people that want
Yeah.
smoking and the same number of people who don't want smoking.
Can we have a copy of that?
Yes, certainly. Okay, so having said that, it's now our,
There are some that are on both lists, though.
I know, so what are you gonna do? They're torn, and this issue is very difficult. And a lot of people feel like they were made to choose sides or were afraid to choose sides, and I'm thinking that that's probably the reason why they signed both. Because they really don't wanna be in the middle, and they wanna be fair, and they understand the reasonings. Okay, I think we did that already. You all got a copy of the non-smoking policy and the reasons. You know, the reasons is it's a chemical, it's toxic, and if you're smoking in your apartment, which you're not supposed to be doing, but many, many, many are that smoke here, it can cause problems for your neighbors. We get a lot of complaints about the smell of smoke in the hallways and leaking into the apartments. The smoke travels. It goes through closets, it goes through outlets, it goes through bathroom fans. There are venting in the bathrooms, and it can become a real problem
Can't get
for
rid of that.
people. The other problem that I'm gonna put first is that there's also a fear of fire. These buildings are extremely old, and it wouldn't take much. And a lot of the tenants that, let me strike that, I'm not gonna say a lot. Some of the tenants that smoke have limited physical abilities. If they were ever to nod off with a lit cigarette, would they really be able to move fast enough to try to put out a fire? Probably not. And so that is the health toxins, the fact that the fire could not only kill them, but kill their neighbors. And then the other thing is, as we go into as our maintenance department goes into these apartments that have become empty, and some were very known smokers who for years denied they were smoking in their apartments, the costs now are getting up to $6,000-7,000 because it's a chemical. It has to be removed. A special primer has to be used. Oftentimes, the AC units, I don't know where ours is, somewhere here, those things need to be replaced in some cases, the insides, because they're full of nicotine. And so what happens is, even if you clean the apartment and you don't take care of that, you turn it on and you're getting
It just
all.
forms like a grease. basically.
Yeah, it sticks. So the cost is becoming prohibitive. So, what I'm looking for is any discussion from the board. I'd like each board member to express their feelings about this policy. So, Lynn, I'm gonna start with you first. Because you can't get knocked over unless someone hits the phone. You're a safe target.
I truly feel for the people that smoke. I understand the need, but I understand the needs of the people that can't get out of the way of fire, out of the way of what,
Oh, do you let us?
breathing.
Okay. You froze for a minute. Now you're mute. Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we can.
As I said, I can really understand and feel for the people who smoke, because I understand what it does to their bodies and the need to do it. But I also understand for the people that don't, and the people that have medical issues with the smoke and the smell, because I myself have those issues with even just the smell of the smoke creates my asthma, so I understand that. It's a very hard issue. But people that smoke, I don't know, you have to look at it from everybody's issue. Fire is a very bad thing. And if people can't, I mean, you're in a senior complex. Think of the people that are unable to move, unable to get out. Do we want the possibility of losing our homes? Many fires go on. So that's how I feel. I feel that she may not like me in the end, but they took it away from the hospitals because of those issues. I saw many fires in hospitals from people falling asleep with those cigarettes in the bed or in the chair. So you really have to think long and hard. I don't know the solution. Maybe somebody can come up with a solution, but that's my feeling. I'm thinking of my neighbors, the people there. I care about everybody. So that's my feeling.
Barbara?
Yeah, I agree with everything she said, and being an ex-smoker myself, I can relate to the people that smoke. It's a hard habit to quit, and
Oh,
it's a bad health issue, for one thing. And, I can understand how they feel. I don't know if we can put up a smoking area where people can go out and smoke, so they don't have to smoke in their apartment.
But they don't do it,
Yeah, well, that's the problem, though. Everybody doesn't follow the rules,
no,
and they make it hard for everybody else.
yes.
But I understand the smokers, because I smoked for many, many years. And, but I do feel like Lynn feels it's a very dangerous habit, and it's
Especially
putting
in
other
these
people in
buildings.
danger. Your ability and your freedom to smoke is good, but when it bothers other people, that's when it's the problem. And it shouldn't be, they shouldn't be smoking here.
I'm gonna go next. I agree with this non-smoking property policy. I went back and researched, and the policy that we have dates back to 2012. Tenants that smoke have had 11 years to figure out that they weren't supposed to be smoking in their apartment, and that hasn't happened. I also feel that as a tenant here, it's impossible for me oftentimes to enjoy the outside, because tenants are smoking outside, the wind carries it, and I end up breathing it in, and it doesn't make for a pleasant time sitting outside. I am more concerned with fire. I don't know how I would I'm on the second floor, and I don't know how I would get out of that bedroom if a fire started in the middle of the night. I'm not a small woman, and those bedroom windows would not allow me to get through them, and I would be stuck. And every night I go to bed, and the last thing I say is, please God, let me wake up tomorrow morning and not die in a fire. So I am for this policy, and those are the reasons why. Virginia?
I'm for this policy too, and I'm an ex-smoker a long time ago, but it's dangerous. And secondhand smoke is just as dangerous as smoking, and sometimes more so. And it's true, you can't go outside. I don't care if they're 25 feet away, you still get that smoke. And I'm for the policy.
Bobby?
I agree with the policy too, because I'm also an ex-smoker. I feel like I'm in an AA meeting right now. I'm rubbing my teeth and I am a smoker, wasn't a smoker. But it's true, it takes ravages your health. I had a lot of lung troubles, a lot of circular troubles from it, and other issues that I really don't want to get into now, but it's rough on other people. They don't want to be around you.
One of the things that I wanna add, it says on the property ends at the sign. So
Right.
you don't have to go that far to get off the property if you wanna have a cigarette. So, I'm just letting everyone know that that's where where the property ends, and that's, so if you go up, is that bench that's there beyond the sign, or is it?
It's still our bench.
It's ours? I thought there was a question whether the town owned that it wasn't part of our facility.
There was a thing that we made with the town that we would keep that clean. They don't keep it clean, we do.
All right, but it's still not on our property.
Well, not personally, but in.
Technically, it's not on our property,
But they allow everybody to go there. I mean,
Okay,
everybody
but
sits
what,
there.
but for the sake of this policy, what I'm trying to say is, even if that bench is not on our property, then you can sit at that bench and have a cigarette.
Plus, there's a lot
It
of,
is after the sign?
there's a lot of good cessation programs that are
after
offered
the
to
sign.
people that,
Well, this policy, even though it'll be voted on today, won't actually go into effect until April 23rd.
Right.
And what we're going to do is get, some people in, some programs for anyone that's
Yeah.
interested in quitting smoking. My understanding is it's really expensive now.
that's expensive.
Yeah, very expensive to smoke.
Oh, yeah,
But at any rate, I just wanted to make that clear. There's been a lot of false information going around. Off the property means past the sign. So, a lot of people walk downtown. Maybe that's the time you have your cigarette. The bench is available, sit on the bench. Okay, so before we vote, I wanna open it up to anybody who would like to, anybody that has a question or would like to have a comment. I'm gonna ask you to keep it at a minimal and not go on and repeat. So I'm gonna open that up. Ann, you have your hand up?
Okay, I would like to know where the property lines are. What about in the back?
All the way in the woods is part of the property.
Okay, then I'm gonna bring, because my law firm has come in, and so hasn't Greater Springfield Elder Abuse, so hasn't Tri-Valley Elder Abuse. They've seen a sign out here above the post office box that says no alcohol on the property. So that means all over the property. You can serve alcohol to your customers, to your friends, in your apartments, but you can't smoke because it's on the property? That's kind of a double statement.
Okay. Anybody else?
I have something I'd like to say.
Oh, sure.
With the alcohol, it isn't forced upon you. There's a difference. I can choose to drink this alcohol with you or not. If you're smoking in an apartment downstairs below me, I have no choice. I have to take that smoke in. It takes away your choice.
Somebody ran
That's the
back.
difference.
Whatever that is. You can't see.
Donna?
Oh,
What's wrong with us having designated smoking area?
Because it
Out
doesn't
near
work.
out near that,
That's what the policy has been. It doesn't work.
so you think just by us going out there, it's gonna change the people
Well,
smoking
because now
inside?
there's a policy in effect that says, and if you read the policy,
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so then you
So
know
what happens if
what the consequences are if you.
What happens if your neighbors and you have a grudge, and for whatever reason they keep saying, I smell smoke? I
Well,
smell
it's not
smoke,"
gonna
and
be
they fall
that
asleep.
easy. Trust me, it's not gonna be that
Because if I
easy.
go to smoke over there, if I come walk here, my coat may still smell like it. Am I
That's
gonna be
not, that,
punished?
we're not, there's not gonna be dog sniffing clothing. It's not gonna
Sure
be,
is.
it's not gonna be about that. So, you know, it's going to be handled appropriately. West Brookfield did this 8 years ago. Ware did this 8 years ago. I believe Munson also is, I mean, there are a lot of housing authorities that circle around us who have all done this. And quite frankly, this is their document.
Why was
This
there
has
not a,
gone through, excuse me, this has gone through their attorneys. This has gone through, please be respectful. This is their document. This is what they've
I
done.
understand that, but this is supposed to be our time to ask questions.
Well, ask a question.
Well, I was trying to, and you said, wait, why can I, now I forgot what it was. Oh, why was there no, tenants meeting about this? Last month you said that it would go through a process.
Because there were threats of,
There was no threats. Who threatened?
you asked me a question, you have to allow me to answer it, and then you cannot deny what I'm saying to you. I got phone calls from tenants who were told that there was going to be some serious problems caused in this meeting. And there have already been some serious problems caused, and so it was decided that we would wait to do this. The LTO already had a meeting several months ago regarding this issue.
Right, but
In
on-
fact,
on
in
video, you
fact,
said
there
that
were
you gonna
pictures
have
that were
another
brought
LTO, so
about
we
what
could-
apartments
voice
look
our
like. So the
opinions.
LTO already addressed it.
Months ago, before we were notified.
She wasn't living here then.
I was living here in October.
That is right, but at the same time, the people that were living here could have come to that meeting if they chose not to, then they missed out on the information that was given at that time. And that's when it was addressed.
Right.
Because you brought the pictures, it was after Carolyn's death,
Correct.
and that was one of my biggest fears. If she would have had a cigarette in her hand the night she died, that place would have went up like nothing. And we might not be, Bobby and I might not be here today either.
But also, once again, you said there would be an LTO, so we could discuss this.
And
There-
again, I'm telling you why there wasn't an LTO meeting.
of
Because-
threats
Yes, right,
To the LTO?
correct.
Then why wasn't something posted that there would be no meeting due to threats? We have a right to know what's going
It was a
on.
decision made by the LTO officers.
So we
The
have,
only time you have to post is if, when you're having a meeting. And we are gonna have a meeting. But
I'm
we,
with all this.
we
I'm
had
trying to
one
understand the
already,
process.
Donna, we had one. Ann, you have another question?
Yes, I want to know about the intimidation that you people have done, including yourself, Mary Ann, coming out of Kathy's in Virginia, seeing me smoking in my car, and you pointing to me, telling Virginia, write something down. That's bullying.
I did nothing of that.
Oh, excuse me. You were
Excuse
seen.
me, I did not, okay, first of all,
You came out of Kathy Cosme, I'm Coffee.
no, you're gonna be silent. We do not make the board meetings a personal agenda. You're out of order. So I'm gonna ask you to please sit down and be quiet. If you can't, I'm gonna ask you to leave.
Oh, nice. Excuse me, because I can't take.
Anyone else have a question? Shirley?
I don't have a question, but I do
Or a
have,
comment?
I have a statement. It was brought to my attention specifically while I was out at Alltown, that somebody had specifically told me there was a war going up here, and if there was a meeting, there was gonna be chaos. This was specifically told to me, and I am an LTO officer, and that's why I'm bringing it to the attention of the people here today. So, I don't think it would be wise for anybody to choose to do that, but I thought it was very unfair that people thought they could come to a meeting and just act as they want to. And hopefully they will be respectful and civil. And that's all I have to say.
And that has been what has been said to us, which was the reason why the LTO chose at this time not to have a meeting, considering that there had already been a meeting about this. And there was a discussion. And I don't think whether we had one and there was chaos created and the police were called and somebody got hurt was worth doing, because honestly, it wasn't gonna change anybody's opinion. The people who are against the smoking are still gonna be against the smoking, whether the LTO had a meeting or not. The people who are for the smoking, we're going to stay and be for smoking. It wasn't gonna change anything. And it was decided that it was in the best interest of the safety of the seniors that live here not to risk it. Okay, so,
May I ask a question?
go ahead, Gisela.
Yes, mine is a concern about the laundry room. I heard that 2 items were gone out of there. And so I talked to a lady and she is concerned about not having a camera in there. She doesn't feel safe when she comes at night. Myself, I came down last week and it was dark. And I was working in the laundry room and the door opened 6 times. Open, close, open, close, open, close. Nobody ever came in. So maybe you wanna think about having the camera up there again, so we know what's going on.
Okay, so what we can do, is put that on the agenda for our next meeting and talk about, reinstalling the cameras,
Thank you.
okay? All right, so we'll put that on the agenda.
This week.
I don't know who you are.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering who was going to enforce the smoking policy?
The executive director.
Okay, and what would happen, I know that the letter said that, they couldn't come into the apartment unannounced.
I'm sorry, I can't
Come
hear
in.
you. Could you speak up, please?
The letter that you guys sent out said that you guys could come into the apartment to check to see if people were smoking in the apartment unannounced.
Yes.
She's on the last page.
Where are you, Bobby? You Bobby helps out.
Next page,
Next page,
it's the very last page.
what you have there last page? Oh, here. Oh, okay.
Second offense,
Oh, second, verbal warning for second offense.
Written warning, which will be entered into the tenant's file. Unannounced unit inspections will be made at time of complaint, report of smoking order.
well, you're not gonna barge in the door, you'll knock on the
Oh,
door.
right.
So, wait, I
Right.
mean, it sounds like you're
It
not,
has to, it has to.
you know,
be a
come in and
complaint.
beat the door down.
Right,
And
and
it has to be a complaint.
there okay, so, one, there has to be an initial complaint, okay? Then there has to be a second complaint. And that complaint is gonna have to be in writing. It's not gonna be just someone says, they're gonna have to own the complaint, and it'll have to be in writing. So the first will be, that complaint will be in writing, but the warning will be verbal. But there'll be a written verbal warning that will go into the file. The second one will be a written warning, and then someone will come to your apartment and unannounced and knock on the door.
And it would only be the director?
I'm sorry?
It would only be the director coming in?
Oh, yes, with the maintenance
With the
man.
maintenance man. I have gone to an apartment and the person has said, I'm not smoking. In the bathroom next to the toilet is your ashtray full of cigarettes. If he had just followed the rules for no smoking in the apartment in the first place, none of this would be happening. But you're not doing, people are not doing it.
So how long of a notice would you be given as a tenant to have the director and the maintenance man come into your apartment?
You're not gonna tell
With
me
the
it's
second.
unannounced.
The second complaint.
How long?
There is no
Around
time
the
frame.
second.
I mean, if someone complains and they put it in writing and then we address it with the tenant, the executive director addresses it with the tenant, then you give that time. If it's continuing, and that person comes back and writes a second complaint, it's a second complaint. I mean, if the tenant doesn't do anything after the first complaint, that's on the tenant. I mean, it's the same thing now. Every tenant here has signed an addendum to their lease, has been notified in writing that there is no smoking. There is a no smoking policy right now in effect, and it's being ignored.
Completely.
So it's going to depend on the complaint. Nancy?
What bench are you talking about that we could smoke at if, you
The
know,
bench right up at the top of the hill?
where they, what they call the crow's nest or?
I guess, I don't know, is that
So
what they
we
call
could,
it?
so we could smoke there?
Yes.
Alright.
But not in your apartment.
I know, I hear that, I have.
I've
But
seen it.
everybody in here, I will admit, I have, and I hope it ain't all about me.
No, it's not all about you. There are many people here that smoke in their apartment and they know they shouldn't. And it's costing a small fortune. So the other things you want done here are not going to be done because we're spending, now the apartment that was smoking in for years and years cost us $7,000 to redo. Just think about all these apartments that your people are smoking in. One thing after
You'll
another,
lose the
that's
rent,
crazy.
too.
And then the last one was $5,000.
More than five.
We can't keep doing this because we're ending up with losing all our money.
But I don't want anyone here to think that that's the main reason,
No,
because it isn't.
it isn't.
It's
the
about
reason. It's part
You
of
know,
and
safety.
safety.
Yes.
Health and safety. And that is a major concern here. Major, major concern here. These buildings are old and awfully flammable.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it, but they can go up very easily.
Health and safety, so on that note, can you do something about these cars that go through here at extreme speed?
Oh, yeah,
Over and over and over,
I know.
I know.
year after
They
year
took the
after
sign
year.
down at the end, we have to have that sign made over.
Sign's not gonna work.
No.
It's the same people every year, they've been told from what I understand,
Yes,
and they just constantly do it every day.
they don't understand what 10 miles an hour means.
15,
No, it's
10
10.
would be better.
Tim,
10.
Tim,
yes?
I made a suggestion quite some time ago.
Yeah.
I think even before I was on the board, that we invest some money in one of those solar speed limit signs.
Right,
And if we put one halfway in, that maybe that will, cause I mean, listen, any of us who drive, we get involved in things and all of a sudden we look down and say, oh, no, I'm going too fast.
most people here are very good, there's just a handful.
Yeah,
And the town put
Delivery
those
guys
in,
especially.
and they record all the information, and the police
They come,
department
or they go
reveals
around the
it.
other way too.
Really?
So it'd be very handy. I
yeah,
have one of
so
those.
what we can do is we can add that onto next month's agenda to talk about doing, a solar, well, we lost Lynn, that's not good.
And come back.
To
Well, you
do,
could put one up on the pole, there's power right on that pole at the end.
Right.
So you don't
but
even
I'm
have to
thinking,
do
I'm thinking a ways down, we lost you, Lynn. I'm thinking a ways down, so that if there's a nice big sign that's flashing, like you're going too fast, you know, and it says,
Yeah, you go
Thank
slow,
you,
thank you.
you know.
People not running over anybody.
right, it might be enough of
Well, I followed the state.
a reminder.
Well,
I
again,
followed the state cop and he was going 37 miles an hour
They all.
and the sign was flashing.
Well,
And that was the state cop.
again, that unit records all the
all right, wait,
information.
I can't hear him.
We can't
Go ahead,
hear
Tim.
him.
That unit that the town put in different locations.
Yeah.
Record all the information and it keeps it and they download it. And they can review how many people actually slow down when the light comes on. flash.
Really?
I didn't
Yes,
know that.
and
Is
the
it
biggest-
solar powered?
I'm not sure.
I
but
think
it-
they are.
We have power on that pole up there. It's better to put one up there because when you're going to back out, it's clear. And the next second, because they come flying over the
You're
hill,
right, you're right. that's
they're right
true.
there. So you're gonna have an accident someday.
But I've seen people go slow coming up this hill and around, and then when they get past this office,
Well,
wow.
You get
Yeah.
both.
and they go flying. I've seen people fly and take the left around the rotary the wrong way.
Right.
I mean, you know,
But
They
the
didn't
vision up
follow
there-
that sign.
But
Yeah.
you can't see up there, that's the issue. Over
Yeah.
here you have clear vision.
yeah.
That's very
Okay, so
dangerous,
we'll
but-
add that to our agenda,
Need
and,
price.
and we'll talk about that to see if we can, you know, get pricing and everything and see if we can do that.
Somebody had their hand there. Oh,
Paulette?
I agree with you, Tim. Can we see if the town or the county, Worcester County, would help us on the price of putting one up?
never thought
Well,
of that.
we could look into it. The problem is this is state-owned
Well,
property.
yeah,
and
but
they tend
even,
to-
even if you ask like Worcester County maybe,
Yeah,
they maybe, you know, or even the town maybe, chip in some money towards it, cause we're
you
finding,
did? What'd they say?
No, I said we should inquire
Oh, okay.
Ask them,
and
yeah.
then ask the.
you know,
Okay,
even if they give us some money towards it, you know, it'd be better
Yes,
for
I'm
us than
sorry.
paying the whole freight.
okay, so I'm gonna end it now. No, Lynn wants to end it. She's gotta go. I think we've done enough conversation about it. There's been enough questions and
Closed
concerns.
captioning or something, because it's hearing impaired.
I can't hear you, Donna, if you talk over me while I'm talking. What would you like to say?
I was wondering if we could have interpreters or closed captioning, because I'm watching some of the meetings on YouTube because I don't have cable, and I can't understand half of it because a lot of you speak real softly. And so I can't understand what's going on, what people are saying.
Well,
There's people who are hard of hearing, they're elderly.
Well, I talked to them this
Right.
morning and they are very, very, very limited to sending anybody out, and at the last minute they can cancel. And if you don't call them in enough time, you might not get anybody. She said she's very, very, very limited to people to come.
I think there's some new equipment coming. Travis, I hate to drag you
well,
into
we're-
this meeting.
We're getting new microphones Saturday.
Okay.
So one thing that's gonna help is we'll be able to set up microphones at the table.
Okay.
Because right now we got this one on here and
Yeah.
that center mic that's trying to cover everything.
Okay.
thank
So
you.
that'll help on the audio side.
Okay. So let's be patient and see if the new equipment will make it so, that someone other than my loud voice will be able to hear. All right, so I am gonna ask now for a motion to pass the non-smoking or decline the non-smoking policy.
I make a motion, we pass the non-smoking policy.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The non-smoking property policy lease addendum is passed unanimously.
Those are a couple of fine ones I have. You want them?
She wants
What
this
is-
copy of this.
okay.
Make copies. How are they gonna get them? Not passing them around to everybody.
No, I'll take care of that.
Okay.
Okay, financials.
Yeah, right there. There's everything.
Under laundry?
Yeah.
No, there is. 743, the same thing that was there before.
No, because you didn't add, there's no money to get them in. You didn't February money.
It isn't the end of February yet. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, don't worry.
She's gotta go. No, Lynn's gotta go.
Lynn, okay, Lynn, do you need to leave? Or you just wanted to move the meeting along?
Well, let's leave it if I can, because I have another meeting, so.
Sure, why not?
Do I come out of it?
Well, can we do the warrant?
Just financials first.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so, Virginia, do you wanna work with Barbara and go over those checks and the warrants, and we can get that done? I don't know what you wanna do about this, what you wanna say. Yeah, okay, then don't.
Thought you were coming around.
So we're good,
This is a great idea.
okay. That's good, warrant,
LSE,
So the treasurer's report is all that?
yeah,
1,799.
well, it's actually the end of it, we haven't gotten the year end from Gary yet, so he's still working on it.
Tom's out of here.
Huh?
Tom's out of here.
Yeah.
799.
Yep. Area base, 1,029.
There's two of them,
There's two of them.
just because nobody pays December agenda.
Okay.
Some of the bills didn't get paid since December.
Next is, I'm trying to do the contractors.
That's the permit, the last of their bills are permit from the town of Warren. Some towns don't make us pay for permits for Warren does. 107. No. That was the last bill, that was his final, now this is a permit that he has to pay the town of Warren. It's on there, cause I did it, the last ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was quite a discrepancy. Okay, those, 1,602. And the next one would be Exxon for 1,050.
Cause that wasn't paid,
That wasn't paid either.
no. She sent me the statements, but I didn't put that one. I just put it right.
Okay,
Last pages. Somewhere there.
they're working hard, Lynn.
There's not
Hardly
that
work-
many.
Hardly working.
There's not that many, so.
Okay,
There's only,
total
what, 3
cleaning
left?
plus 775. Yeah, there's only a
That's
couple
for,
left.
cleaning lady. Another bill.
And the next one is Encore Fire Protection.
775.
Yeah, we saw it. Stratos Painting.
Yeah, that's the guy who pays for the apartment. That's the least amount of money.
Wow. 4,900.
Runs between 5,000 and 7,000.
And then the last one is Great West.
There should be a couple there together.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a couple.
Well, that was already shown. 1,622.
Last pages.
And this is already signed.
Yes.
1,062.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's already signed.
Okay.
Yep, all set.
Okay, so I make a motion to accept the warrant.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion has passed to accept the warrant. I also think I should probably get a vote on, even though we're not changing the pet policy, just that, so we can put it down as adapted. So I'm looking for a motion to accept the pet policy as it stands.
I make a motion to accept the pet policy as it stands.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Lynn, thank you for joining us. Go enjoy the sun while we enjoy the slush.
Yeah, don't get caught in the rip current.
All right, you, okay, take care, bye-bye.
We gotta accept it.
No, that's the year end, that's
Okay.
about the other. No,
Okay, we don't have.
he hasn't given me the other yet.
Oh, okay.
We have some major problems to figure out.
No?
Thank you all for coming.
We haven't adjourned yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Use that.
You told me I haven't been here a while.
Okay, here, you wanna sign mine? There, and David. Thanks for coming, Sandy.
Take care, ladies.
And then there's two more. No, you're gonna take these are gonna go in our files.
Yeah, I have a-
That's David.
Oh, it's David's?
I envelope that.
See you later. Okay,
I would make more of these to put with those,
okay.
because
How
it
many
kind
more
of,
do you want?
no, they're attached to these.
Yeah, but how many more?
I'm over there.
Oh, just the three.
Well, no, mine's already there. Right, because you wanna make sure, because you're putting those in the file, town's file, so you wanna make sure that the whole policy is there with the signature. Okay, so, no, old business,
Oh,
Old business.
I don't think there is any.
We're all old business.
New business? Any new business? I think we did already handled questions and concerns, unless you have anything other than what was already stated. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? Nope. Okay, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 11:02.
I second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. The meeting is now adjourned.